The United States of America had an election on 8 November 2016. And guess who won the majority? Donald J. Trump. Yes, Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton and became the next US president. The news was a hit, and of course, stock markets were affected. Before we go to that, let's see what's the effect of Trump's victory on US financial markets and economy.
Since the election result, the Dow Jones has hit for 19,000, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq have all hit record high. In contrast, Treasury bonds have been sold off at a rapid rate as managers expect that Trump policy will boost faster economic growth as well as rekindle inflation in the US.
Next, let us see how is US interconnected with Malaysia.
The United States and Malaysia have a strong record of participants in numerous terrorists, including counter-terrorism, investment, trading, and many more. There was an agreement between both of them, which was 2004 Trade and Investment Framework Agreement. Okay, so here's some fact to tell you. Malaysia was the United States' 12th largest trading partner back in 2014. So furthermore, the United States was also Malaysia's 4th largest trading partner back to the old days. Besides that, there are lots of Malaysian students are studying abroad in United States, which brings up the friendly relationship. In fact, Malaysian was one of the biggest foreign group students that enrolled in American college and universities. Because of these factors, Malaysian was closely into United States lifestyle and current exchange.
How does Trump's victory affect the Malaysia's financial market and economy? First, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement or TPPA. It is an initiative to establish free trade agreement between 12 countries with a total of 800 million people and GDP of $27.5 trillion. Shortly after Trump's inauguration, US was withdrawn from this agreement. Malaysia had been expecting this, but the huge effect for them is they lose the chance of getting GDP growth of $211 billion for over 20 years. However, there's also a positive impact for export-oriented sectors. A short-term appreciation of US dollar to ringgit Malaysia caused their revenues to increase. Apart from that, rubber gloves won't be affected at all as they are essential items for the US.
Finally, let's look at the pros and cons of the presidency of Trump from the perspective of Malaysian capital markets.
The potential long-term drawback is the fall in Malaysia's oil revenue after the withdrawal of the US from the Paris Climate Agreement. This is because supply of oil is expected to increase and causing general oil price to fall as US production of oil is not bounded by obligations. Moving on is a short-term drawback of the presidency of Donald Trump in the Malaysian financial markets. The deduction of corporate tax in the US from 35% to 15% attracts existing US investors in Malaysia to return to their country. Here are the potential advantages on Trump's presidency. The temporary appreciation of US currency after Trump's presidency may benefit Malaysia's short-term exports as it is cheaper to buy Malaysia's product now as compared to the US. Donald Trump has also indicated that a strong currency may not be good for the US economy in the long term. Therefore, Donald Trump aims to weaken US currency in the long term, benefiting Malaysia to invest in the US at a cheaper cost. Purchasing tangible assets such as land and building are relatively cheaper now for Malaysia, and it will appreciate in the long term when US economy grows.
So, to conclude everything, of course Trump's presidency has both positive and negative impact, not just to the US but to Malaysia too. However, to avoid for Malaysia to be badly affected by it, everything depends on the Malaysian government. If they manage to make a wise financial planning, Malaysia will be in a very good condition.